Hello, hello.
Hi there.
Good evening. I almost said good morning, you guys. That's where I'm at. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our webinar. See people piling in. Hope everyone's had an amazing day today. We'll get going. Thank you so much for joining us for tonight's webinar. That's our BlueLedge Software Showcase featuring Eclipse. So my name is Tamara Candeloro. I'll be your host this evening, and it is my pleasure to be here with you all, and I'm so excited to be here. I'm so passionate about everything that we do here with BlueLedge. You guys probably hear me blab about it all the time, but it's because it's so amazing to be a part of the professional journey with you guys. And I truly believe that when you find training at the right time, it changes everything. And that's what these webinars are all about, you guys. We're here for you to try to give you the information you're thirsty and hungry for. So let's have fun tonight. We're going to get into it and get rolling with everything that we've got. You guys, we're so excited to spend this time with you and connect. First, I'm going to kick us off with some housekeeping. Everybody needs to know the good housekeeping rules. This webinar is approved for AAERT CEU credits. You do have to stay logged in for the entire time. And the survey link will be emailed to you for those who do stay the entire time from info@blueledge.com tomorrow. So keep your eye out for that. That'll be coming through. And then at the end of that survey link, as always, you guys, you hit submit. Just stay on the screen, be patient for a second, and you'll be redirected to the certificate that you have to post for credit. Okay, so for tonight, what to expect, we have a very informative evening planned for you. Eclipse is here tonight to show you their software and let you peer into how it might just be the very perfect tool for you. So this is a second showcase we've had in this series. And we'll have it all is going to be available on demand in our website. So you guys feel free to check them out and review everything that you saw here tonight anytime. Share it with your friends or anyone else interested. That's going to be available for you. And so, yeah, we're going to get started with the demo of Eclipse, sharing their software. We'll go through, possibly answer some questions a little bit throughout that, but definitely at the end as well. So you guys go ahead and please prepare and ask any of your questions that you want to ask for Eclipse or any of the panelists in the Q&A pod. We have it open for you. And you guys, as always, can upvote. So if there's questions out there that you particularly want to hear as well, by all means, feel free to upvote it, and we'll make sure to squeeze those in, in priority so we get everything going through. But we should get them all answered for you tonight and be good either way. All right. Also, you guys, I already see some of you already doing it. Love it. Thank you so much for sharing your reactions. We love for you to share your thoughts and energy with us on that way. So please feel free, let us know anywhere all throughout the webinar how you guys are feeling. It's also so encouraging for our panelists who are bravely speaking in front of this large live audience tonight to get that feedback and know that you're resonating with what they're saying. So thank you so much for that too. Okay. So many good names. I see familiar people out there. Thank you guys for joining. I'm so excited. Let's take some time and meet our panelists. You guys ready? We'll do that.
Absolutely.
I'll kick it off with you, Merritt. Will you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes, of course. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming. My name is Merritt Gilbert. I am the director and lead instructor at BlueLedge. Before working at BlueLedge, I started working as a digital reporter in 2012. I also worked for a large court reporting agency where I would recruit, train digital reporters and legal transcriptionists. And I kind of brought all that expertise over to BlueLedge, and I love it, and I'm glad everybody's here tonight. Thank you very much.
And we love you too, Merritt. So we're happy that you brought it all over. All right, awesome. Let's see. How about you, Taylor? You want to go next for us?
Yeah, hi. My name is Taylor Sisto. I'm really excited to be here. I am a salesperson for Eclipse RSR, and I started with Advantage Software in 2011 in the writer department. I worked very closely with our steno reporters at that time. And then as the digital market has evolved, I got the opportunity to start doing sales for RSR. And I absolutely love being able to offer software that gives reporters an unprecedented level of efficiency in their workflow. I'm going to see you guys later on where I'll be going over some of our plan options for RSR.
Perfect. Thank you so much. We're excited.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. How about you, Ashley? You want to go next for us? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Absolutely. My name is Ashley Van Dyke, and I'm the Director of Training for Advantage Software. I've been with Advantage since 2010, and I've served the company and the community in various roles. Right now, I am the Director of Training, and Eclipse RSR has been a special project of mine, something that I've dedicated a lot of my time over the last few years to. And alongside Brock and Taylor, we kind of spearhead communications, training, onboarding, and all of that for all of our Eclipse RSR users.
Love it. Thank you. All right. And last but definitely not least, Mr. Brock, would you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hey everyone, my name is Brock Tidwell and I am the Customer Success Manager here at Advantage Software. I've been at Advantage since 2023 and my role here is to onboard, train, and assist new RSR users throughout the process of gaining confidence and independence on Eclipse.
Love it. Awesome.
Hmm.
Okay, great. Very good. So let's go ahead now. We're going to take a few minutes to get to know who our wonderful, beautiful audience is tonight and learn a little bit about your software existence in this realm and where you're coming from with that. So I'm going to kick off with the first question. What role best describes you currently? So are you a student, digital reporter, legal transcriptionist, scopist, and/or proofer? Are you a digital reporter and legal transcriptionist both? Are you a courthouse employee, DR and/or LT? Or are you a manager / admin type person? So it looks like they're getting pretty close to leveling out. Still see a little bit more people to fill those out. And I'm going to go ahead and call it and share the results. All right. So 35% digital reporter, definitely have a lot with that, following kind of pretty next in line with that, the legal transcriptionist and the digital reporter and legal transcriptionist. So definitely have a very large following tonight of our people doing the good deed in the field. That's great too. And we have 5% students. So you're going to be learning all kinds of things and seeing what you have in store for you too. 3% courthouse personnel too. You guys definitely are in there also. So love it. All right, let me go ahead and do the next poll really quickly about your software selection. So who has chosen the software that you're currently using? And you can go ahead and select multiple answers on here. We realize there's different things going on in your roles or different ways you might be working. So by all means, feel free to see whatever fits best in there for you. And then we have this coming through, and I'm going to call it, give you just a few more seconds. All right, I'm going to end the poll. So 59% their employer has chosen their digital reporting software. I feel like that's pretty similar to what we see a lot. And then 18% chose their legal transcription software, their own, and 25% their employer chose their legal transcription software. All right. Good to know. And then I got one more question for you guys. On your experience level, how many years of experience do you have in the industry in any capacity coming through? So I always love to see this one. It's so nice to see the wide variety because we always have so much to learn, right? Like there's always so much information out there and ways to keep improving on ourselves. So that one's leveling out pretty quickly. You guys answered this one quick. I'm going to go ahead and end the poll and share the results. So 39% have 11 plus years in the industry, 29% 3 to 5 years, and then following it a pretty even split between the less than 1 year, the 1 to 2 year, and the 6 to 10 year. So good variety that we have here with us tonight. Thank you guys for taking the time to fill those polls out. We appreciate it so much. So that's where we're at from there. So now you guys want to dig right into it. I'm going to throw it over to Miss Ashley and let her have at it. Does that sound good?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Tamara, for all of that helpful information about the community who's viewing tonight. That's definitely information that is helpful to us to know and that we're happy to know. And I'd like to thank everybody for attending. And I'd really like to thank BlueLedge for extending the invitation to participate in this wonderful event tonight. As I introduced myself earlier, I am Ashley Van Dyke, and I'm the Director of Training for Advantage Software. And tonight we're going to be talking about Eclipse RSR. And Eclipse RSR is real-time speech-to-text reporting. With Eclipse RSR, we are taking the audio that is generated during proceedings and turning it into a live, instantly editable rough draft. And let's talk a little bit quickly about who we are as a company. Advantage Software has been around since 1987. We have been making court reporting software for all of these years, and we were founded by court reporters for court reporters. And although court reporters remain the sort of foundation of our business, they are not the only people that we support within our community. Our community is made up of a lot of different transcription professionals. Of course, there are people in the courthouses, people doing depositions, but we also support a large number of closed captioners, CART providers, people providing transcription services for the legal community at large, for the entertainment community, and for law enforcement. Wherever there's the need to transcribe audio into text, you will find an Eclipse reporter doing that work. And you will find Eclipse reporters all over the world. We have customers all throughout the country or all throughout the world in many different countries, in large cities, in rural areas. The wheels of justice do not stop, and neither do our court reporters. And they are working everywhere, every day, at all hours of the day. And as a result, you know that when you invest in Eclipse and invest in Advantage Software, you're getting a partner that you can trust. Advantage Software offers anytime tech support. We are available nights, we're available weekends, and we're available holidays. Because we know that as a court reporter, the call for transcripts is never ending, and sometimes the rush is due at 7 a.m. and you're having a problem at 3 a.m. When you're working, we're working to make sure that you can meet the needs of your clients and make all of your deadlines. Now let's talk a little bit about Eclipse RSR specifically and start taking a look at the software. Eclipse RSR is real-time speech-to-text reporting. This means that you are getting immediately editable, highly accurate, high-speed text created from the audio of your proceedings. You can provide that same real time to judges, attorneys, CART recipients in the educational or religious community, and all of the edits that you make as you're following along with this real time will go to those real time viewing clients. So every single correction that you're making throughout the document goes to that rough draft that they are viewing in real time or that you may allow them to take home at the end of the day. We have created a customized set of hyperkeys just for Eclipse RSR input. And hyperkeys speed your editing up at least 25% compared to editing alone without hyperkeys in Word. Additionally, Eclipse offers team editing. No matter what edition of Eclipse you have, you're able to collaborate live with other Eclipse reporters. All you need to do is be on the same version, and you're able to edit each other's work live to help each other create same-day copies with ease. Additionally, Eclipse RSR works with any recording configuration. If you just have a single channel of audio, a boundary microphone that covers your room, that's perfect and Eclipse RSR will work. If you've mic'd up all 32 of your participants, that's also excellent and Eclipse RSR can handle that, record that, and offer each of those channels to you later for review. Since Eclipse RSR is real-time speech-to-text reporting, it is based upon a speech engine. The speech engine that we use currently is Speechmatics. We chose Speechmatics for a few reasons, and currently it is the one that meets our needs and the needs of our clients the best. It is highly accurate and it is incredibly fast. Additionally, they have specialized their speech engine on accented speech. And so the fast talking foreign doctors or foreign specialists are not going to be a problem, are not going to be a hindrance, and are not going to be something that slows the speech engine down. It will recognize them and it will keep up with them. Additionally, Speechmatics does not require internet access. And so an Eclipse RSR reporter can go anywhere that a court reporter is required. You can connect to the speech engine in 3 different ways. First, you can connect using the cloud connection. This, of course, requires the internet, but there are no special hardware requirements required. As long as your computer is Eclipse compatible, it can use the cloud version of Speechmatics. And if you're someone who mostly does Zoom proceedings, this might be the perfect option for you. Secondly, you can purchase a Boost Box, which is a small miniature PC that runs the speech engine without the need of internet access at all. This does not have any special hardware requirements and again will work with any Eclipse compatible computer. Last, you can have Docker installed on your computer and we can install Speechmatics via that Docker container. Now, this does have specific hardware requirements and Advantage Software sells computers that meet those requirements. But if you do happen to have a computer that meets the specs, we'd be happy to install Speechmatics for you if you do have RSR. Eclipse RSR works in real time, taking the speech that is currently happening and turning it into an instantly editable rough draft. This enables real-time transcript viewing, rough draft services, and instant ultra-confident readbacks. However, we also offer batch services. This allows you to take pre-recorded content, turn it into a rough draft in only a few minutes compared to the few hours that the real-time audio might have taken, and turn around rough drafts faster, give your pre-recorded audio clients faster turnaround times generally. And for many reporters, this allows them to expand the types of work that they take and the types of transcriptions that they're able to output. With Speechmatics and Eclipse RSR, speakers can be inserted in 3 ways. Anytime you're dealing with speech recognition, there has to be a way that speaker tokens and speaker labels are inserted into the document. When we're talking about a voice writer, they're using a voice code to do that manually. With Speechmatics, there are 3 different ways that we can do it. Voice, channel, or meeting diarization, or Zoom diarization, we also call it. With voice-based diarization, it will listen to each person's voice, it will identify their unique vocal tones, and it will assign them a speaker label that it will continue to use for the duration of the proceedings. And this works with any recording configuration. Next, we have channel-based diarization. As the name implies, this does require multi-channel audio recording where you would have a channel assigned to each of your speakers, and information from each of those channels is how Eclipse determines who is speaking and when. This is very accurate, but it does require all of those microphones. And then last, we have Zoom or meeting diarization. This gets speaker token information directly from the meeting from Zoom and then inserts that into your transcript accordingly. This is very accurate. It doesn't require any special hardware and it's very easy to use. And for many of our users, Zoom proceedings are their bread and butter. And so this makes it very easy for them to get that done very efficiently and accurately. Eclipse also contains some tools that are incredibly important when you are managing speech input. We've been making voice writing software for decades, and a lot of our success with Eclipse RSR has been built on our success with voice writing software. With that experience, we were able to take the really good information from Speechmatics, augment it, perfect it, and make it much better so that when you have a rough draft in Eclipse, it's as clean as possible before you ever have to make an edit. Those tools include vocabulary management, Q&A management, annotations or notes, and then file and workflow management. So let's go ahead and go into Eclipse and let's take a look at how Eclipse RSR works in action and how some of these tools actually apply in the real world. So the way that I have Eclipse configured right now, it is just recording everything that we hear in this meeting. And we call that loopback recording. And this is the same thing that you would use if you were doing like a Zoom meeting on your own. And so starting a real-time job in Eclipse RSR is incredibly easy. All you have to do is press the real-time button. And up at the top of the screen, I see that there's a green SPM light, and that means that I'm connected to the speech engine and it's ready to go. And as soon as I begin speaking or my participants begin speaking, the text immediately begins transcribing. Now, I was the first person to speak, so I've been assigned SP01 or speaker 1. Now, to identify my speakers, I can press hyperkey S as in speaker, or up on my toolbar, I have define speaker. And you see that every time I hover over a toolbar icon, it gives me a clue to what that keystroke is. So I'll press S and identify myself. And as soon as we have a second speaker appear, they'll be identified as SP02. So hey, Taylor, what is your first and last name?
My first name is Taylor, and my last name is Sisto.
And so I'll do the same thing. I'll put my cursor anywhere in the paragraph that Taylor spoke, and I can press S, and I'll type in his name. And of course, if you wanted to type Mr. Sisto instead, you could. If you want it to be all caps, the court, whatever you want it to be, Eclipse can accommodate any speaker identification you need. So now both of us are identified. And so what I'm going to do now is enable Q&A mode. Up at the top here, I have set as Q, set as A, and then a QA mode toggle function. And so for set as Q, I can press Alt Q, and for set as A, I can press Alt A. And now when our speakers change, we'll be using Q&A instead of colloquy mode. So Taylor, where do you work?
Sunny Stewart, Florida.
And what is the name of the company you work for?
Advantage Software.
And where is so you already told me where Advantage Software is located. What is your job title at Advantage Software?
I am the salesperson for Eclipse RSR.
Okay, and how long have you been working for Advantage Software?
2011.
And what was your job title when you first began working for Advantage Software?
I was actually a build technician for our writer department.
Okay, and now I've hit the QA mode button to toggle Q&A mode back off, and now we'll be in colloquy mode. While you have Q&A mode enabled, anyone who has not been identified as a questioner or an answerer will come up in colloquy. So if someone offers an objection, they will automatically come up in colloquy rather than Q&A unless you've identified them as a questioner or an answerer. You can toggle in and out of colloquy or Q&A mode as often as you need to. And if you miss a section of Q&A, like these first couple questions when Q&A mode began, then you can highlight any text that already exists, press block QA, identify who is asking questions, identify who is answering questions, and Eclipse will automatically format everything that you had highlighted for you. And you can also use that when you're doing batch transcription. By default, when you finish a batch transcription, it will provide a document in solely colloquy. So you would identify your speakers using S to identify each speaker. And then once you do that, you can mark your Q&A segments and identify your questioners and answerers so that in sort of one fell swoop, your document is better formatted and ready to be readable. Now, we also have several other tools that relate to sort of organization and keeping track of things. At any point in the document, you can open up what we call bookmarks. Now, right now, I don't have a bookmark listed, but I can mark text by pressing hyperkey M, and then I can press hyperkey B for bookmarks to add that into my bookmark list. Additionally, if I want to, I can just press B and then type in a custom note. And that also goes into my bookmark list. I can click on a bookmark to jump to that point in my document. I can sort my bookmarks alphabetically, chronologically, and different ways. And I can also generate a report of my bookmarks. And later, if I needed to like verify a spelling or something like that, I can come in here and type an updated note. So I can say that I verified the spelling or whatever the case may be. And I can add as many or as few notebooks or bookmarks within my job as I need to. The bookmarks also go with the job if I send it to a scopist or a proofreader, so that my whole team has the benefit of using the information from the bookmarks. As far as toggling in and out of Q&A mode and colloquy, you would only really need to toggle in and out of Q&A mode if like your questioning attorney starts arguing in colloquy. Like if someone has an objection during their Q&A session, then you might want to toggle out of Q&A mode to let them finish arguing with the judge and the countering attorney. And then once they're back to actually answering questions, then you might toggle Q&A mode back on. But if people are not doing a whole lot of arguing, then you don't need to do a lot of toggling of Q&A mode on and off. Mostly you're just identifying your speakers and then identifying your questioners and answerers as they appear. And as you saw there, even though I was up in the top of the document making edits or doing whatever the case may be, all of my live text is still being transcribed at the bottom of my screen. And additionally, I can split my screen so that one part of my job is following the live text and the other part I can come up here and edit. Now, in addition to making notes or keeping track of bookmarks within your document, you can also manage the vocabulary within your document. Now, I have a vocabulary dictionary entry in here for my name, where it says that anytime it hears anything that says Ashley, it's going to give me the spelling ASHLI instead of ASHLEY. And you can add as many vocabulary entries, well, up to 1,000 vocabulary entries into a vocabulary dictionary to augment the speech engine results. Although the Speechmatics vocabulary is very big and very good, there are some things that it might not know, or there may be spellings that it prefers that aren't the ones that are going to apply to your job. You can create vocab dictionaries for specific topics or specific jobs, just like you would a translation dictionary in Eclipse, or like a steno dictionary or a voice dictionary. You can curate those vocabularies over the course of your career to make sure that you're getting the best possible results automatically. Bookmarks, there's a good question about bookmarks. Do you have to have print commands turned on in order to see them? And you do not. Bookmarks are separate from a print command function, and it requires a plugin though to use. So if you wanted to send your bookmarks to another Eclipse user, they would have to have the bookmarks plugin in order to use them. Now, in addition to the tools for vocabulary management and annotations and note-taking, we also have a file management system that is incredibly robust. The Workflow Manager allows you to organize your work in whatever way that you would like. Each job has a set of information assigned to it, so you can see like what your speakers were and other variable job information. And additionally, you have the ability to customize which columns of information you see here. And so if you're someone who's just starting out as a student, then you might want to know how many errors you're making per job, what your score was from your instructor every time you did a dictation. Whereas when you're a professional, then you might want to add, the status of your job. Have you been paid for the job? Has the job been edited? Who scoped this particular job? Did I edit this job? How long is the job? How long did I spend editing my job? All of this kind of information. And so we have a whole host of default statuses and data points that you can collect and organize for all of your files. And you can also add custom fields that you can fill in yourself for all of your files. And you can choose which of these data points are shown in the Workflow Manager so that you can get what you need. And all of that workflow management information also can be exported to CSV so that you can then graph that information and kind of see how you improve over time, or see how much money you've made over the year, or visualize whatever data it is that you are collecting. So next, we're going to talk a little bit about team editing. Team editing allows multiple Eclipse reporters or users in general to come together and edit the same file over the internet. Now, this does also work without the internet, but you all have to kind of be on the same local network. And if that's something that works for your firm, then do know that that is possible still without the internet. But most people functionally end up doing this on the internet. And so basically what happens is the host reporter will start the session and then share their session information with their scopists or their proofreaders. And their scopists and proofreaders log into the file and edit the file with them to make sure that you get the highest, most accurate possible document. And for a lot of reporters, this means that at the end of proceedings, they're turning out their same day copies that the attorneys have just ordered. Now, when you're doing team editing, you can do it from anywhere in the world. The only requirement is that you guys have to have the exact same version of Eclipse. And this can also be done in real time or with documents that have already been transcribed. When you're working in team editing, each of the users that are participating in the team editing will have a Scopus flag that has their name on it. And so that you can be sure that you're not editing on top of each other or making the same edits. A lot of times, if you're working with multiple team members within a team editing session, each person will sort of have a job. And you can work with as many team editors as you'd like. There's no limit to that. Same way, if you have a bridge broadcast license, there's no limit to the number of viewers that you can have in your bridge session. In general, Eclipse is not big on limits. We try to avoid them wherever possible. Additionally, when you are using team editing, you can assign each team member a custom color, and all of the edits that they make during the job will come up in that color. So now we're going to take a little live look at team editing, and Brock is going to act as my team editor. And so I am going to start another session here. And this time I'm going to make sure that team editing is turned on. And so I'm going to enter a session name and a password for my team editing session for Brock. And so now that is available, and Brock will be able to log in and join my session from his Eclipse. And in just a second here, we'll see his name pop up in my little window, which is now a little bit too big. So there we see Brock has appeared. And as we're both in this document, then you'll see him following along behind me. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually stop talking, and I'm going to play a little sample audio file that we have to show you what it looks like, sort of in a little bit more realistic scenario.
Please provide your full name for the record.
John Michael Reynolds.
Mr. Reynolds, where were you on January 12th at
And so here
approximately
I'm going to
6:45
identify
p.m.?
my first
I was eating at
speaker, who is
Babalu's
the
Cuban
attorney.
Cafe on Port St. Lucie Boulevard.
Is that behind the Circle K?
Yeah, like south of Veterans Memorial
And now I'm
Parkway.
going to
Were you
identify
alone in the
Mr.
restaurant?
Reynolds, who is
Yeah, I
our
was by myself.
witness.
Well, I was eating by myself, but there were other people also eating,
And
separately
as
from
I
me.
go through, I can make
I understand what you
various
mean, Mr.
edits
Reynolds. What, if
as I
anything,
need
did you
to.
observe as you were having your dinner at
And so
Babalu's?
here,
I saw a red sedan traveling north on Veterans Memorial Parkway at a real high
let
speed.
me also enable
At the same
Q&A
time, a
mode.
white SUV was coming through the intersection on PSL Boulevard. And, yeah.
And by PSL Boulevard, you mean Port St. Lucie Boulevard, is that correct?
Yeah, sorry.
Could you estimate how fast the red sedan was traveling?
I would say at least 60 miles per hour, maybe more. The speed limit there is only 35.
And how about the white SUV?
It was going slower, probably around 30 or 35 miles per hour, I'd say. Going with traffic,
Did you see the traffic signal for either vehicle?
yes, I did. The light was green for the SUV traveling on PSL. Port St. Lucie Boulevard.
And what about the red sedan?
The light was red for traffic on Veterans Memorial Parkway.
Did the red sedan slow down at all before entering the intersection? Did you hear any braking?
No, not at all. It just kept going, didn't slow down at all.
Okay, what happened next?
The red sedan ran the red light and hit.
But you see that although the audio was pretty clippy, it was very fast. The speech engine had no problem keeping up, and Brock is able to follow along and edit behind me. All of the edits that Brock is making are in this yellow color, and any edit that I made is in this green color. And you see that overall, most of the text is very accurate. It does not make a lot of word errors. And so most of the time when you're going to be following along, you're going to be correcting things that are mostly capitalization or spelling based. And so there was a word, the name of a local restaurant in this audio, Babalu's Cuban Cafe. And so that's something that like it's probably not going to get the proper spelling correct. And so that is something where we would want to global that and put that in my job dictionary to make sure that the next time that that's said, it comes up correctly. And something like my name, if I said Ashley and I wanted a different spelling, that is again something that I can immediately just global. And so if I wanted the more traditional spelling instead for this job, I can global that. And the next time that I say Ashley, it's going to give me that corrected spelling. And so as we go along, most of what we're going to be doing is correcting punctuation, inserting the odd missing speaker, and perhaps inserting, any missing text or punctuation that it might be having. But overall, the accuracy of the speech engine is very high. And so what you're able to spend your time doing is monitoring the audio for quality, making sure that your recording is as perfect as it can be, and then following along as this text is finalized and making sure that any edits that you see in real time are made as soon as possible. And so generally we give people kind of a hierarchy of priorities. Identify your speakers first. Once all of your speakers are identified, then start working on Q&A mode. And once you're comfortable with those things in real time, then start adding your other editing commands in. And as you get more and more practice with each of these functions, then they'll come more naturally to you, and you can do them a lot more seamlessly and start adding them together. And with a little bit of practice, many of our Eclipse RSR users are able to turn out their own same-day copies, and they're doing it, in less time than they were trying to turn out the same amount of work previously. And so what we're finding is that Eclipse RSR is giving people hours back at the end of the day, allowing them to take more pages, turn out more pages, and make more money. It's taking strain off of their bodies. A lot of our community members who might have otherwise been lost to injury or illness, they now have another option of a method to capture the record that keeps them in the game, keeps them mentoring new reporters coming into the market, and keeps them making money for their families. And so Eclipse RSR has been a huge boon to all of our users who have taken it up, and we've found a lot of success with it. It is really very easy to use. If you have any familiarity with Eclipse at all or with a CAT software at all, you can really hit the ground running. As you see, the speech engine itself is very accurate. It's very fast. I'm a fast talker. It keeps up with me. We've run the fastest talker in the world through it. It keeps up with him too. It will keep up with your hardest witnesses. It will not ever ask your judge to slow down during jury charge or jury instructions. It's never going to do that. And so we find that when people take this into the courtroom and into the deposition room, your clients are only just as impressed as you are. And everyone is happy with the reduced turnaround times that Eclipse RSR offers. And it really has made the difference for a lot of our reporters staying in the game versus getting out. Now, as far as does it have, there's a question here about these cursors. There are indeed 3 cursors on the screen. And so 2 of these cursors are the hypothesis text. This purple text that is between these 2 final cursors is the text that Eclipse RSR is thinking about. And you'll see sometimes that it's not right. And then once it actually hits the screen, it actually corrects itself. And so that is text that is not finalized yet, and you cannot yet edit it. And so if I try to take my editing cursor down there, that I can't get to that purple text. But as soon as it turns black, then my little editing cursor is ready to go, and I can type text or do anything that I need to do. And with Eclipse, if you're not familiar with our editing suite, we have spent every single moment since 1987 perfecting it. You can edit fast in Eclipse. Everything that you might want to do in Eclipse has been reduced to a single keystroke. Anything that you might want to do is easy to do, and it's easy to undo it as well. All of our punctuation is toggleable. I can press a period and I get 2 spaces and a capital letter. If I hit a comma, I can hit the comma again to get rid of it. I can toggle in different punctuation wherever I want it. I can mark and surround things with different markings to get the, formatting for, legal codes or whatever the case may be that I need. And there are a multitude of tools, things that will turn 109 into $109 with the touch of a keystroke. And I'll show you that as soon as this drops into real text. So I can just press Shift M and all of a sudden that's a money value now. And so there's all kinds of quick editing commands. And if I actually go to support documentation, I can show you the Eclipse RSR Hyperkey PDF. This is built into the software, and this kind of would give you an idea of, and a guide to follow as you're learning hyperkeys, so that you can, tackle it. And hyperkeys can seem intimidating at first. It seems overwhelming and it's a little bit, it's a lot to take in at once. But if you turn it into bite-sized chunks, and you really commit to learning it, it's really only about 5 to 8 hours of learning, depending on the person, before hyperkeys enter muscle memory. And at that point, you're just building speed. And if you have never had the opportunity to watch a skilled Eclipse user edit, it is like watching magic happen on the screen. I can edit things, pretty good. But these people who spend 40 hours a week doing it, their hands on the keyboard full time are scopists. They are magicians, at the keyboard. Are there shortcuts for exhibit entry? So we have, let me show you, we have a function called Quick Forms. So if I go to Quick Form, I can set up my kind of most commonly used block files. So I can have my exhibit marked, my direct, redirect, cross, recross, that kind of thing. And then of course the Alt-R still just works. So you can just pull in, mark, fill out your exhibit stuff. And then if you are skilled at doing that on the record, then all of a sudden you're not only selling a rough draft, you're selling a rough draft with a rough exhibit of index, which, not a lot of other reporters are doing. And so if you do have all of those block files set up already, then it'll all be compatible. If you're already an Eclipse user, the compatibility is exactly as you would expect. You can bring your block files, you can bring your document format, all of that will work. If you're new to Eclipse, that's all stuff that we can help guide you and help get set up for you. But know that automatic indexing, hyperlinked exhibit indexing, embedded exhibits, exhibit PDF labeling, all of these things are built into Eclipse. A lot of the functionalities that you find reporters paying extra for through like a real legal service or things like that, that's stuff that's built into Eclipse that you can do at no extra charge. And so all of those like fancy schmancy PDF tools that your attorneys want and that they think they need a real legal subscription for, it's built into Eclipse. And so if you can kind of, give them the gateway drug of an Eclipse PDF, then all of a sudden they'll stop needing those things. And they'll get everything that they need directly from you. And you'll save a bunch of money by not having to have those extra subscriptions. How does it handle interruptions and speaking simultaneously? That depends a lot on your recording scenario. If you have 2 people talking into a microphone, it can only assign 1 word per time code. There are 30 frames per second, and so there are up to 30 places for something to appear per second. If 2 people's words appear at exactly the same time, you as the court reporter need to either edit it in the moment, listen to the audio and know that you can hear it to edit it later, or make them repeat the question and put it back on the record, just like a steno or voice reporter would do if they had excessive crosstalk or overtalk. It's still important to do those admonitions. Yes, Taylor.
Regarding the multiple cursors, if that feels busy to you, can you have it just do the drop down? And
You can absolutely. It's called pending translation display, and you can turn it off. And that's a good segue into another point about Eclipse is that we are incredibly customizable. If there is an element of the screen that you don't like, you can turn it off. If there's a color you don't like, you can change it. These are the default colors, but everything in Eclipse has sort of an assignment when it comes to the text. And within the display tab, all of those different text assignments have individual colors that can be set to them. So if you have conflict dictionary entries, such as if I say the patient did exhibit those symptoms, as we can see in Exhibit 19, I'm going to get two different results for that same word because it's a conflicted entry. And so first I got lowercase exhibit, and second I got capitalized exhibit with the number formatted correctly as a digit. And so all of those things are color codable so that you can get exactly the look and feel that you want, so that you can visually scan to all of the text that you find important. Additionally, you can assign certain words as watchwords. If you want to check all of your homophones, your there, and theirs, you can add those to your spell check so that it'll stop on all of them and you can make sure that they're right. Or if you have a BRIAN and a BRYAN, both being talked about in the transcript, you can add those to your watch list so that you can check and make sure that every single one of them is the correct spelling. We have all kinds of customizable tools to make that easy. And you see here that these two BRs are underlined in red as a misspelling. And up here, my there are underlined in blue as a double word. This is something where I might want to dash it out. Some reporters would remove one of the doublings. We also have a tool that will suppress double words if you just don't ever want to see them at all. Eclipse has lots of customization so that you can make the text come out the way that you want it. Everything in Eclipse is built around efficiency and making you press the fewest number of keystrokes possible. And that's true of no matter what version of the software you have. If you have the steno version, we want you to press as few steno strokes as possible. If you have the voice version, we want you to have as few voice utterances in a job as possible. And with Eclipse RSR or with the Eclipse Edit Station, we want you to use as few keystrokes as possible to achieve those perfect verbatim results at the end of the day that your clients expect from you. And that is really kind of the conclusion of the active part of our demo. And so let's talk a little bit about some other things. I'm going to hand it over to Brock to talk a little bit more about our customer success strategy.
Sure. So when it comes to customer success, my top priority is that when you as the user feels heard and supported. So we start with a personal onboarding to ensure that your computer is ready to go, followed by one-on-one training sessions with our training staff here to show you the ropes and make sure that all your questions are answered. On top of that, our anytime support staff is ready to help 24/7, 365 with anything that you may need. Success is a shared journey, and we want to make sure that we all grow together here. And now I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Taylor here, and he's going to go over our different types of RSR licensing.
no, thanks, Brock. So hi again. So let's talk about our plan options. Something that I really like that we do with RSR is that we provide multiple plan options for Eclipse RSR. And this is something that we only currently do for RSR. So first up, we have our purchase outright plan. You buy it once and you buy it for life. All you have to do is pay for support. We have a yearly subscription plan. This is our most popular plan with government and institutional partners. We also have a monthly subscription plan. Most customers choose to purchase outright, but many of our customers start out with this plan as it's a great way to dip your toe in and give RSR a try. With our enterprise and student options, we offer competitive enterprise pricing for larger organizations and robust student software options for those who are just starting out. Something that isn't listed in our slide, but I wanted to mention is that we offer special add-on pricing. This is reserved exclusively for customers who already invested in our software with us and own either a Steno or Vox license and maintains a current support contract with us. Yeah, really like that we do that. So yeah, on behalf of myself, Brock, and Ashley, thank you everyone for joining us. Also, a big thank you for BlueLedge and Tamara and Merritt for hosting us. For anyone interested, please scan the QR code or contact me directly for more information at taylor@eclipsecat.com or call me at 772-288-3266. We would love to hear from you and help pick out a plan that is right for you. Thanks, guys.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Why don't you guys just leave that slide open for just a second? I'm going to try to squeeze in just a couple more questions that we have in there in the Q&A pod if we can get some.
Absolutely.
So I'm just going by the I'm going to sort them real quick by the upvotes. So how does it handle interpreters? And then we also had a similar question. How does the software handle when a foreign language is spoken?
So it speaks many languages, first of all. So if you do need to transcribe in other languages, we probably can do that. We have lots of customers transcribing in French, German, and Spanish, and a couple other languages. Now, as far as interpreters, it will transcribe what they're saying. We have a tool where you can mark like the beginning of the transcript, interpreter, and then the end of the interpreter speech, and it sort of hides it from the transcript. It does not delete it. There are times when sometimes there might be a word that is actually part of the answer or whatever that you want to include. And so we don't ever remove that text, but we do make it easy to sort of hide it so that it's out of the printable part of the transcript. But the reporter can still refer to that foreign language excerpt later if necessary.
Awesome. Thank you. And you kind of answered one of the questions about the double words, and you showed how that could be, used or not used, doubled up. Another one that's similar to that, it says, I noticed when you said, or, Eclipse did not automatically insert a comma. It does in their version, and they wanted to remove that. Is that also part of something in that line? Of what you're talking about,
Totally
maybe?
customizable. Yeah. Yes. If you
Okay.
have Eclipse RSR and you wanted to do something slightly different than what it's doing, we can absolutely do that, particularly when it comes to punctuation around text. There's a new plugin called Speech Filter. If you don't have that and you're an RSR user, give us a call tomorrow and we'll get you set up.
Okay. And I think you answered this one, Ashley, but I didn't want to mark it off just in case. As a reporter, is there a shortcut for exhibit entry? You kind of spoke to that and went through some of the details on that, correct?
Yeah, so the standard Alt-R to read in your block files is still going to continue to work, but there's a new plugin also called Quick Forms, and you can assign your kind of favorite block files to this Quick Form, so that way you just hit your Quick Form keystroke, and then you're one through whatever you have assigned for your favorite, exhibit or exam marking or whatever the case may be.
Okay. And then I don't know if you see the question. I don't want to over truncate it, but is there a way for the library to remember something from job to job? Like, is there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you can both curate vocabulary lists to prepare the speech engine for words, as well as text to sort of better text translation dictionaries within the software. So there's
Awesome.
multiple ways to handle all that.
Love it. Okay. What about when you toggle between Q&A and colloquy? Does the software automatically insert the byline?
It can. That's an option.
Perfect.
Yep. Yeah,
Okay.
the insert missing bylines function works basically the same way in RSR that it does in Steno and Voice.
Okay, great. This one looks like probably one of your users answered it, but let me just ask in case. So when your online Scopus makes changes, do those changes apply to the real-time file so that the judge,
Yes.
for example, gets the revisions?
1,000%, yes. And it's all very instant. As soon as they make the change, you'll see the change, the judge will see the change.
Okay, all right. And then briefly, I want to, someone has at some point, could you please clarify the function of the boost box? Don't understand.
Yes.
Okay, go for it.
So the boost box, I'll hold mine up here to my camera, hopefully. So it's a miniature PC, and all this does is it runs the speech engine without the internet. So Speechmatics has very specific requirements, and a lot of our customers' computers don't meet those requirements. So rather than encourage everyone to spend like $1,200 to $2,000 on new computers, this is sort of a portable, much cheaper way to run Speechmatics without the internet. Now, if you have version 12 and you have the internet and you're always going to be able to rely on the internet, then you don't need a boost box and you don't need Docker to be installed on your computer. But if you might not have the internet, then the boost box is a great backup. Or if you know that you're not going to have the internet and you don't want to buy a new computer, then the boost box is your answer. Because the speech engine itself is what has pretty specific requirements. Eclipse will kind of run on a potato, but
run on a potato. Love that. That's always handy. All right, awesome. So you answered another question within that as well. Super quick, easy question. The PowerPoint available to attendees if you guys want to think about that or anything like
oh,
that.
I'd be
we
happy to
can-
provide it to you guys.
Okay, so what we can do is coordinate that. If you know, either I can send it out with the survey if you wanted to go to everyone, or vice versa. We'll work that and make sure you guys.
Yeah, I'll
get
send
that
it to you. You
open.
can decide how you want to distribute it.
Okay.
It's fine with me either way.
Okay, all right. And then I want to get one more before I squeeze over to Merritt. We're trying to get in there too. Does Advantage Software provide a scoping workforce that a company could rely on?
So we don't ourselves manage a scoping workforce. However, there is a vibrant and thriving scoping community that you can access very easily. In fact, there are scoping sort of clearinghouses that do the team editing. They will come into your document like a pack of wolves and fix it right up. So there's a huge scoping community. People don't have trouble finding Eclipse Scopist.
Okay, perfect. All right. So there's a couple more that we can't get to quite yet. You guys have so many good questions, so many out there. And Ashley, you did an amazing job answering so many already. You are, it's amazing what all you did. Great job on your presentation. You covered so much and you're so helpful. Thank you for that. I want to pop over really quick. We'll find a way to make sure to answer some of these. Ashley, you could also type a couple in there if you wanted.
Yeah, let me
and let me hop over to Merritt, and I want to get Merritt a couple give us some tips here, please, for managing this. So when you're trying to go to the new software, how can practicing reporters supplement their existing skills when adopting all this new technology? It's so much to juggle all at once.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about that during that amazing demo. Thank you so much, Ashley. Like, there are things that if you're just working as a digital reporter right now, you may not even understand when Q&A is necessary versus colloquy, or when a byline or a parenthetical, all these transcript formatting things. So that's a skill you'll need to learn, how to format a legal transcript and in the region or district that you work in. You also may need to up your game on your English grammar and punctuation. That's not always something you need to be at 100% as just a digital reporter. You need to learn those tools to be able to edit more accurately if you're going to be doing the live streaming text service for your clients, or wanting to do that immediate rough transcript. And then one thing that Ashley touched on that I loved was learning how the ASR, like certain things that the ASR will do that you're going to want to pay attention to so you can catch those errors and fix them on the fly or afterwards.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Okay. So Merritt, you answered even part of another question that I'm thinking about too, and part of what you said. So what role should continuing education play in staying current with both technology and industry best practices? Like, how does that fit in with this whole thought process?
Yeah, I mean, we are in an industry that is just so quickly evolving. New software, ASR tools, AI tools, and it's just so important that we stay current so that we can work as efficiently as possible, because that is so important when you're being able to, be faster at what you're doing, to be able to get more done. And that is another piece to why certification is so important to attorneys, judges, and employers, because it not only shows that you had the knowledge and skill and ability to pass that certification exam, but it also means that you're having to stay up to date on the latest best practices and technologies, because you're being exposed to those required continuing education, like this webinar right now. And yeah, it just helps you be providing the best services possible. So
yeah, love that. Thank you. And I want to squeeze in one more too. So what learning approach have you seen like that works best for court reporters and or transcriptionists who are visual versus hand-on learners when it comes to new software?
yeah, that's a great question. And something that Ashley did touch on too, which I loved, is starting with the essentials, just learning the most basic functions of the software, practice them until they feel natural to you, and then only move on until like the next layer of features you can grasp, kind of build on from there, rather than trying to master everything at once. It helps both visual and hands-on learners build confidence and actually retain what they're learning.
Awesome. Thank you, Merritt. You always have so many good nuggets for us. We appreciate that so much. And thank you, everyone here tonight. I encourage you all, please, to reach out to Eclipse to find out more on how they may serve your software needs. Tonight was just a glimpse, and you already got to see so much of what they have to offer. And I know for sure you can see how amazing they are and how helpful they are, that they would be happy to spend additional time with any of you who are interested. So you have that contact information. If anything happens, you guys need more information, you can reach out to us anytime and we'll pass it along to just info@blueledge.com, and we'll make sure you get connected over to them. All the attendees, please make sure to keep an eye out. The survey will be coming to your inbox tomorrow afternoon. If you're looking for the CEU credit, make sure you have to fill that out in order to get the certificate. But I want to thank all of you so very much for being beyond wonderful, as you always are. You guys are so supportive and engaging, and I love how curious you are. So we love it so much. And thank you for those reactions. You guys are just amazing. And to the Eclipse team, like, you guys knocked it out of the park. Thank you so much for your time this evening and for showing us through your amazing software that you have. We appreciate your time so much. Thank you.
And we appreciate the invite to take part in this event. It's been such a great time, and we always appreciate the ability to interface with your community, because it is a huge, vibrant, and thriving community, and we really want to get to know more of you.
Thank you. Thank you. You guys are great people. You guys definitely connect through with the community so well. So thank you, everyone, so much for staying tonight. We hope you had a good time, and we're so thankful that you came, and we'll see you guys again in December. We're going to have another one. So you guys have a good night. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.